Every once in a while, a watch has a sneaky way of finding its way back to you. This is the Hamilton Khaki King. I reviewed, or showed you guys on this channel anyway, this watch probably about a year ago. And at that time, this watch had stolen so much wrist time that I thought I would never get rid of it. And for some reason, I'd have to look back at what came after that. But for some reason, I did sell it. But Doug sent this among the other watches for me to have a look at and, try to peddle for him. But I'm going to surprise you all with this one. The King is staying. I'm going to buy this from Doug. And I have not spent much time with it since it's arrived back on my table. But I just sized it and tossed it on wrist, and I remembered all the things I loved about it. And this is an excellent opportunity for me to enter it back into the collection. And as much as I'd like to think or say that I am not a collector in the aspect that I have a bunch of watches that I like to cycle and wear and everything like that, it is slowly turning into the fact that I am a collector. It kind of bums me out a little bit, honestly, because I like to buy and sell and trade and do all that stuff, but there's certain pieces among the list. This is one of them that I feel like is a definitely one to keep and own, at least for me. So if we zoom in and look here, I'm going to explain why I like this one so much. There's a little bit of dust or lint or whatever on here, but we'll get past that. The main thing that drew me to this, other than its size and its legibility and everything, is that day-date display. Now, I'm not 100% sure what that's called, but I love the way that's done and the way it's executed with the day up top and then the date right below it. And I know there is some criticism about cutting out the 11 and the 1 and omitting the 12 altogether, but I am totally fine with it because I really do like the way the day-date is displayed on this. And I could be wrong, but I think this is probably one of the most affordable watches out there that have an automatic movement that have that style of display. And then you have a super thin case with a domed sapphire crystal. This is only 11.3 millimeter thick, including the dome. So if you didn't have that dome, this thing would probably be sub 11. They claim 40 millimeter wide, but every time I measure it, I am just under 40 millimeter. I mean, just barely under, but it is just a touch under. So you can call it a 40, it's no big deal. It is about 49 millimeter lug to lug. You have a signed non-screw down crown. So you are only going to have a 50 meter water resistance on this. And one of the things I want to do while I own this one is I want to show you guys to not be afraid of water resistance and how often we all get hung up on the fact of screw down or non-screw down crowns. I'm gonna take this thing. I'm gonna shower with it. I'm gonna swim with it. I might even go into a hot tub with it. You know what? And if water gets into it, then screw it. It was my bad. But I suspect it's gonna be fairly water resistant, and I would like to prove that to you guys and show that to you. You have a nice simple bracelet here. Let me zoom back out. It is a very easy to size push pin design. You have 20 millimeter lug and it does taper down to, I think, about 18. I didn't measure that. Simple fold over milled clasp there. I'm pretty sure this part is like a stamped fold over, but this part's milled. Very nice, simple operation. You have the two pushers there and it releases it. Now this is the newer one, and I think Bruce probably had one of the best videos I've seen on it. This is what they call the H40, which is a modified ETA movement, if I'm not mistaken. You guys will have to do your own research on that. I'm not super well versed in movements, but I did notice that, okay, so this one beats at a slower rate, and that is partly how they got the power reserve, because this has an 80-hour power reserve. But you can see it's very simple, not decorated movement. You have a nice stamped out signed rotor. But if you look, I'm trying to think of where it's at. where you would normally be able to adjust the speed of your movement forward or backwards, you are not going to be able to do that with this one. So I'm not sure how they adjust it, or if it's just always just set. I'm not sure. If you guys know, chime in, let me know, because I don't know a ton about the H40. I just know that it beats a little bit slower and has an insane power reserve of 80 hours. Other than that, I think it's a really cool movement. I know there's some other trick things they did to it, because they're putting this in a bunch of other watches as well, so from this watch group. You have solid end links, and they're cut out, recessed or whatever, so you can get the pins out there, because this thing looks great on a leather strap too, so I'll definitely be trying that out this fall as well. And you can see the seconds hand there doesn't beat, insanely fast, or smooth, not fast, like it does with the Manta. You know what I mean? You can just see a little bit of a tick there. The other thing that's really cool about this is the day-date change. Now, when it changes over, I'm going to bring you around. I did this in a previous video, but I think it's so cool, so I'm going to share it with you again. So when you bring it around to its midnight change, watch that day-date. Boom. It snaps over with authority. That is so cool. It's clean, and it looks great, and it acts great. So, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a wrist shot. This is on my about a 7 1/4, 7 1/8 inch wrist. Feels so good on wrist. It's like the perfect size and weight and everything. And seriously, guys, I've been rocking this Manta all weekend. This is like my weekend watch now, and it's no Manta, don't get me wrong, but for the price, this thing is a killer deal. The fit and finishing on it, like, there's definitely better, but not at this price range. I think at this price range, which Joma has it at like $375, even though the hang tag says $595 from Hamilton, retails for suckers, right, guys? So $375 at Joma, and you got yourself a pretty killer watch. It's going to be hard pressed to find a field style, Swiss made Hamilton day-date, at this price. I don't know really what competes with it. I really don't. I think they're kind of in a league of their own, and it's definitely a cool watch. Most of the Hamiltons are really cool to try out and own. I've only tried a few, but I definitely want to try more. That second hand goes all the way out there. Just such a cool watch. I'm glad Doug sent it over again, because it totally reminded me of what I like about it. Now, the big gripe that people are going to have with it is the loom. So I will share that. But, don't have high expectations and you won't be let down. So it's not insane. It's fine. It's no Borealis or even a Seiko. But it does fine. Just know that you're not going to have killer loom with it, or much loom at all. So, is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about this Hamilton. I'm really digging it. I think it's, knocking stuff over. I think it's great. I used my Bob Labs spring bar tool here to size it up super fast. It was easy to just pop the link out. I didn't even use my block or anything. I just used a notepad to balance it off to the side on. So, anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Unfortunately, I'm going to work a deal with Doug on this one, so this one's not going to be offered to you guys. Talk to you soon.